Hello, GMAN Division 5A. I am your recapper for the season, Hargrim, and as a bit of a surprise to you folks, I've had to replace Gengar with something worse, to say the least.
Hello, 5A. It is me, Mick Nugget. Hargrim, when's our recap? Hargrim, when's
We're
our
doing
recap?
it, you idiot!
Hello, everybody.
So, yeah, we're back, or at least I am, and I had to bring Nugget with me because he pestered someone enough for them to give in.
Basically, Metal left me alone and abandoned, and somebody had to adopt me. So Hargrim has adopted me for the season.
Yeah, that's not going to be good, and especially not for Austria either.
No. But let's get into it.
Yes, let's start with the man, the myth, the legend, Metal, and his Full Metal Alchemist. Did I pronounce that right?
It doesn't matter. It's Metal's team.
Yeah.
This is possibly one of the smarter puns here. I believe it's from something, but I didn't bother learning what.
I don't really care either.
No. Metal assured me it was a great theme, so we'll go with that. But Metal going Cambry this season, which makes a change from the Berts that he was last season.
And I mean, he did really well with the Berts last season, and I mean, looking at this team, it's done okay. It's got the Mighty Blow on the Blitzraz, which is pretty standard.
Yeah, that's definitely what his priority in Greenhorn would have been. I noticed the severe lack of casualty damage done by the Tomb Guardians, which obviously has slowed their development a wee bit. But at the end of the day, he's got some nice levels, all three rerolls, and a full healthy team for the start of the season, which is always handy.
It's very important to have a healthy team starting with, well, going from Greenhorn into regular season of Rebel with Khemri. I mean, there's no permanent injuries whatsoever. He's got a nice spread of SPP on his positionals, lacking on the two Tomb Guardians. But, I mean, otherwise, if he can rack up the SPP quickly, he should have a very strong team early on.
It's also worth noting that 2 of the 4 Tomb Guardians are 1 casualty away from a level. The Blitzra that's on 14 SPP is 1 casualty away from a level. One of the Throw-Raz is 1 SPP away from the level. So this team kind of, after the first game, could also take quite a big jump in power. Just from getting a wee bit of SPP here and there.
If we're going to do it the Metal way, so what you're going to want to do is throw a Vanity Pass with your 5/6 Throw-Ra.
We need to do it right, though. So you're going to want to get Ritza Hawkeye Socket. He's going to pick up the ball and do a Vanity Pass to No Blood Alchemist, who's then going to next turn do a Vanity Pass to Strong and Bone Alchemist, who's then going to do a Vanity Pass back to Mace Humongous, who's going to possibly score a touchdown whilst the Blitzraz kill everything. But in the second half, you might want to throw a Vanity Pass with Winry Rockbell as well, just to get him leveled.
Yeah, just to have that dirty player skeleton.
Yeah, exactly.
Metal, if you don't do this, I'll be severely disappointed in you.
We will. If you do, we'll be very happy, though.
Yes, we will be pleased. So, moving on to Hummersep's Zons.
Hummersep, the Lord, the Master of Zons. Hummersep has also been informed that he is my pick for the division here with these Zons. Not to put any pressure on, but I think he went all of last season being told by his recappers that they expected him to lose every game. So I'm changing that. I'm going nice McNugget for 1 recap at least.
Yeah, we can't guarantee anything.
We can't guarantee that, lad. But no, this is a really, really nicely developed Amazon team. The block Agi catcher, very nice pickup early. And also getting all 4 blitzers at least leveled once for the guard, the Mighty Blow in the stand firm, is also going to be really key to Hummersep's early games here.
It's definitely a strong start for the regular season here. I mean, having a single Mighty Blow Blitzer is good, obviously, but it being a blodger for start just because it's fucking Amazons, and being 2 SPP away from the next level.
Yeah.
But also
Pylon.
Pylon.
Pylon or Tackle, I presume. Probably depending on his season, with there being some elves and such around the division, it'll probably be based on that. But it's definitely a nice... Also an Amazon team with a bench as well that's kept its bench through Greenhorn.
I mean, it's a solid team at this point in time, and I really think Hummersep will do very well.
Yeah,
at least for the first couple of matches until he plays the dwarves. Yeah. But then again, also having the double guard, currently he's out guarding everyone. And Fucking
That's
Zons.
really a big plus to the Amazons. Obviously, built-in dodge is nice until you face dwarf teams, but the fact that you'll be able to pick up Mighty Blow and either tackle or pile on is the next one on Brick Wall, but also the fact that he's got some guard there nice and early as well.
Yeah.
It's a really strong, nicely early developed Amazon team.
Yeah, it's really done well in Greenhorn, and you can definitely tell. Moving on. All right, Singe, here we go again.
Here's your recap, Zinj.
Goodbye. No, we're joking. We're joking. So I played against Singe last season with my dwarves against his wood elves, and I basically just gave him an eternal grudge against dwarves and made him re-roll into Nurgle, and here we are.
Yes. Love the theme, Fecal Fantasy 7. It's very apt. And realistically, Zinj is probably very much aware of this, considering I went through early Nurgle last season, and many other coaches have as well. Zinj's main priority this season is going to be leveling up warriors, leveling up pestigors, and trying to win if and when he can this season. The fact that he's got one Nurgle warrior already on block is nice. His second Nurgle warrior, Tifa Blockfart, being one casualty away is also good. Possibly a handoff potential there just to get the level.
Yeah.
His early development, I presume, is going to be all keyed on Airwiffy and Billrat, just because they're Nurgle warriors with no development so far. The Pestigors take care of themselves. They'll pick up. They'll score. They will do a lot of.
They're just going to do what Pestigors do best.
Make everybody else hate them.
Yes, exactly. Nice little development on the two rotters as well. The quick and easy dirty player rotter for the fouling. There's at least 2 bench, so it's possible to do it. And then picking up guard on a rotter as well.
That's a lie. That rotter will die game 1. So
yeah.
It is a known fact that any rotters that roll doubles for guard die the next game. Or within like 3 games. It's just a rule. You can never have it.
So you can look forward to losing that guard rotter, Zinj.
Yeah. That's basically what I'm saying, yes.
Yes.
Also, a nice wee early cast on the Beast of Nurgle. That will also just kind of take care of itself into getting levelled into stand firm or guard, depending on how Zinj feels with the normal, or of course block or a stat.
Yeah. And then of course Zinj doing his usual thing of making everything black.
Yes, Zinj, very well known for his abuse of the game here, but I like it. It's a bit different. It is a nice looking team, and one that we will see how well they do in the next coming weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it is probably the first season Nurgle experience as well. Seeing as well, Nurgle don't do very well until they start getting a lot of development, and as Nugget wisely said, having the 3 warriors, well, one of them at least close to getting block, and then the next 2 probably getting a few handoffs for some touchdowns for a bit of early SPP, will really set Zinj on a good path.
Yeah,
and yeah.
Yeah, that's the big problem with Nurgle. Early on, they can't punch, they can't agi, they can't run fast, they can't do very much, and they're 1 in 9 machines until you get the warrior sorted out. So it is very much let's just get through season 1 as best we can, and then start the fear train season 2.
Yeah. Moving on to Pyro TJ's copy of Metal's team, but with different names.
I really like this as well. Pyro, we will warn you going forward, no level ups picked will result in not being recapped, but we understand because you're waiting this week to see who you actually play to pick them.
Yes, we will ignore you if you don't pick your level ups in time for the recaps.
You will have no excuses going forward. So this is a not too probably not as much development as Metal's actual Khemri team.
No.
All 4 Tomb Guardians. 3 of the Tomb Guardians rookie with no SPP, but it does look Ring Zord has been a bit of a machine in Greenhorn, picking up some nice development.
That's nice development for a Tomb Guardian. However, there is an MNG on Rasti Sipat Ptar?
Yes.
Whatever.
Which is good. It's only an MNG. It will be nasty the first game, depending on who he has, but it's nothing too serious.
No.
Both blitzers in good spots. Kind of just that stage behind Metal, so obviously waiting for 1 touchdown to get Major Bat leveled up to level 2, and waiting on just full Matal deciding his level.
Yeah.
So some good choices there. Probably will see Mighty Blow on full metal unless it's a stat, or unless he maybe has the Zons, Skaven, and Wood Elves in the first 3 games. He'll probably pick up tackle.
Probably, yeah. And obviously
Uh,
picking up a nice little dirty player on a skeleton.
it is always nice to have one of them quite early on. Kipri Ruse bringing a bit of another threat to the other teams to make up for the lack of perhaps Mighty Blow elsewhere on the Blitzers.
Yeah.
And then the wee secret addition there is Morkra. Plus strength on a throw res, very nice pickup. Does kind of give it a bit more protection as it was from that Armour 7 weakness that, let's say, Haringzor's throw res seemed to suffer from. Hopefully means if it is getting hit, it's a lot tougher to actually bring down.
Or it might even discourage people from hitting it because they need to commit too many players to take a proper hit on it.
Yeah. You might see less War Dancers jumping in when it gets blocked, just because it will be sure hands block and red dice. But we'll see how it goes. Pyro also just looking to get some development on the Tomb Guardians and the Blitzers as quick and early as he can in the season. And then
the thing about these the 4 Tomb Guardians is one of them has picked up all of the SPP while the rest are at 0 of 6.
Yeah, Herringzord has picked up double MVP in the 4 matches in Greenhorn. It's not terrible. It set him up on a nice guard and Mighty Blow stat, but just hopefully the rest of them do begin to pick up some SPP during the season to catch up.
Yeah, hopefully. Next up, we have G'day's Pro Elf. G'jace.
Yes,
I can't pronounce names.
That's okay. Nobody used to be able to pronounce G'jace's name till he taught us. And we've got the Delicacies of Doom.
Not very fear-inspiring when it's Pro Elves, I'm sorry.
The Cakes of Doom, perhaps. Some very nice SPP spread here, though, from G'jace. Not kind of putting all these SPP in one basket, as it were.
Yeah.
Just some nice development. Also, keeping a lot of players on this Pro Elf team is also a big part of their plan.
I have to say I am thoroughly impressed with the lack of damage on this team.
Yeah.
The nice spread of SPP means that anyone at this point in time really can get a skill. But the problem is that there is a lack of skills.
You'd say a lack of skills, but not to go full metal again on everybody, but we've got Stake of Sacrilege and Escargot of Entropy, both 1 Vanity Pass away from a level. We've got Frittata of Frisson, the catcher that's a touchdown away. We've got Fillet of Fear that's 2 SPP, and Pate of the Patriarchy that's also 2 SPP away. So that's all very doable in one game.
Very much so.
You could see this team going from three level ups to 6, 7 level ups, and realistically, whoever plays this team game 1 is going to be very happy. Whoever's going to play this team game 2, game 3 is really going to be in a lot more of a fight than they could have been.
Yeah. So, G'jace, we're expecting 5 or 6 levels ups by next game if you do the vanity passing correct.
Yeah. Just do the vanity pass, as Metal would say.
Yes, do it. Next up.
And Ravers. And
okay? Yes.
Next up, Ravers and the Serpents of Inoruk. Now, Ravers taking the trusty Dark Elves here. He also went for the 4 Blitzer start, which in my opinion is the far safer start in a perpetual league, but does have some bank there to pick up the Witch Elf, which I presume he's going to want to do because he does have 3 rerolls and the apple.
Yep. Picking up a nice double on Cottonmouth there with guard. I probably would have taken Mighty Blow instead. I mean, guard of course can be incredibly handy when it comes to elf plays, but I still would have considered Mighty Blow to sort of start building a killer.
Mighty Blow would have personally been my choice as well for that. I can understand guard. Guard's never a bad pick on elves though. It will help him get line of scrimmage blocks a lot easier against non-guard teams, which sometimes elf teams struggle at because they don't want to commit like 5 players to the LOS. So guard helps in that sense as well. And just having guard is good. Ideally, you're hoping one of the other 3 blitzers or even the witch elf that you'll probably wait to buy picks up the Mighty Blow nice and early on their next level.
Yeah.
As you can see, a lot of the blitzers kind of that halfway point between level 2 and level 3, that 11 SPP, 9 SPP bracket that they're in. So
more vanity passes.
I would say less vanity pass, more just getting wins in. This team's set up really nicely to just go out there and just get wins on the board,
Yeah.
especially the fact that the hopeful Witch Elf purchase will take it to 11.
Yeah. I mean, and already there are 3 blodgers on the team.
Yeah. The double wrestle is nice. I prefer a wee bit of block early on.
If
in my
not,
Dark Elf lineman.
if not the block, then at least one of them with kick.
Kick's a bit tricky on Dark Elves, though, for mainly because they're the slowest of the elves. So although it is nice, it's lower down the list than it is on Wood Elves, Pro Elves, and High Elves because they do only have movement 7 on a couple of players.
Yeah.
But kick at some point will be a pickup for him. The wrestle, like I said, I do like wrestle on the Dark Elf lineman. I sometimes like a bit of block compared to wrestle, just mainly for a lot of LOS blocks as well, so that you can actually hopefully not just be dropping your own players on that LOS. But this is a really nice team that could really kind of go 3-4-0 in its first couple of games here with the team.
At this point in time, it's looking like it could really rake in some wins for the first few weeks.
Yeah,
at least.
And big fan of the theme that's went on there. So
I don't get it.
Snake theme. So they're all snakes.
Ah, okay. Now I'm with you.
So the Cottonmouth, Copperhead, Diamondback, and Boomslang, I think, are a bit more deadlier. And then you've got your tiger snake, your trouser snake, your rattle ones. It'll be interesting to see what the witch elves come up as. If it's maybe going to be like anacondas or something like that. But that'll be something to look forward to next week's recap.
Yeah.
See what he has.
We're looking forward to how creative you can be with the witch elf.
We are.
Up
next.
I have to say that I hope this team dies. I am sorry, Ambitang. I hope it dies. Because this is disgusting.
It's a bit good, isn't it?
4 Greenhorn games, you already have a Claw Mighty Blow Vermin, a Mighty Blow Pylon Vermin, and a Big Hand Gutter Runner. No!
It's a bit nice. I would say the only mistake that you've made, Ambi Tanik, and it's an easy one done for coaches, is that Full Metal in your division hates Rat Ogres. He absolutely despises them. So I like to promote every coach that does take Skaven to name the Rat Ogres Full Metal. So
agreed.
If something bad was to happen to Raticate, I would hope that it's renamed Full Metal. But this is a team and a half. This is you want to play this team near the end when hopefully somebody has killed most of it.
Yeah. I do, however, disagree with the piling on choice on the Rat Ogre.
It's a bit brave, I'll admit. It's a bit brave. Could have been Guard, could have possibly been Juggernaut, but looking at it, he might have picked it up before he got the Claw Mighty Blow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he might have went for the damage on that. So it's played 4 matches, it's done 7 casualties. It's been a wrecking ball. So if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. I mean, you're really set up for a nice season, at least for the first couple of weeks before things die.
Nobody's going to want to play this team as it is.
No.
Nobody.
Not until some of the players just start collapsing.
Yeah, and that's probably the nicest thing you could say is that nobody will want to play you.
Yes. Pretty much. So I seriously hope that Hardy Ratata and Rash Ratata have a brain aneurysm and collapse.
After they've killed Metal's team.
Obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Next up.
Chubstep!
Chubstep. The other Scotsman. Quiet you.
Yeah. I'm not Chubstep. I don't shut up. Chubstep has a Blodge Runner.
That's it.
Yes.
That is it.
But that's all he could possibly need, though.
To be honest, Chubstep, that player will carry you. Majorly.
Somebody's going to. But in saying that, he has 2 Troll Slayers, 1 Casualty or 1 SPP away from a level. He's got a Blitzer that's 2 SPP away from a level. He's got 2 Longbeards, 1 SPP away from a level, and another one that's 2. So he is waiting on a lot of SPP to jump onto this team.
To be honest, I was in the same situation last season with my dwarves. I had a rough time for the first couple of matches because of a complete lack of SPP, but then suddenly it just exploded. But, I mean, Nugget, do you want to pull out your pentagram again?
My pentagram. Okay, so Dr. Teeth is going to throw it to Animal, who's going to throw it to Clifford, who's going to throw it to Statler, who's then going to throw it to Waldorf, who's going to do a back and forward with Janice for a couple of turns so that they're all levelled, and then they're going to hand it off to whoever you want to score. Probably not Gonzo, because apparently he just dies a lot like he did on Chubstep's Necro team.
Okay. Now Nugget is pleased. Now we can all have a nice season. Now, but in all honesty, you're set up for a real nice season. I disagree with the one run. Unless your runner died, I disagree with the one runner build. It gives you a complete lack of ball Well, if that runner goes down, your ball carrying capabilities are severely depleted. Of course, you have your blitzers that could do the picking up, but you're still in trouble. Because generally you don't want your blitzers to go for the ball unless you absolutely have to.
I'm assuming that there has been a dead runner, mainly because you can get 2 runners in the box for 1,000 TV, and Chubstep probably would have went the standard, because there's not much of a... There's basically, you start with a death roller, or everybody else starts the same way, and it's 2 of everything and then Longbeards. The reason I presume there's not a second one there is it possibly happened 3rd or 4th game in Greenhorn, and he's just not got the gold to buy the second one.
Yeah. He needs another 20k to be able to buy the runner.
Yes.
Yeah. But otherwise, I'm putting my money on you, Chubstep, because you are dwarves after all. I'm gonna keep my eye on you. Right. Next up, we have Crow Dog's Dark Elves.
And witches be tripping, yo.
Yes.
That's like the one and only time I'm going to do that, Crow Dog, so...
Yeah, enjoy it.
This is the opposite to the Ravers start. This is the Dark Elves that go Witch Elf Triple Blitzer.
And this is my preferred build.
Yes. It's a wee bit riskier. Now, I say that, although Rufus the Witch Elf does only have 1 SPP.
Yeah.
Which to me says, and I'm just going to have a check on the stat. Oh, it's played 4 games. This Witch Elf is possibly the worst Witch Elf that's only got 1 SPP in 4 games. I'm thinking it's maybe been KO'd a lot, or just allergic to the ball. Or be tripping, yo.
It seems like she's had 4 injuries inflicted against her. Or 1 KO sustained, 2 injuries sustained.
Yeah. So unless she's ate 4 rocks on turn 1, it's still a Witch Elf at least. It's still nice to have. Some nice guard there on Crow early as well. The minus movement on Finbar, it's not a major issue. It's something you'll keep until Finbar either dies of more injuries or you get the witches and the other blitzer and replace it.
I mean, at this point in time, it's just line fodder.
No. But the big star attraction is, of course, Moose. That Agi5 blitzer. And getting Agi5 on the first level is so nice because you can then play around Agi5. So you can go strip ball or tackle.
And leap, obviously.
You can build it as a proper sacker because you can just put the sacking skills on after the Agi, not when you've already got like blodge, tackle, then Agi, and it's forever until you can maybe get strip ball or something.
Yeah.
But
this is a really nice skill up for the first skill up with, I mean, at the beginning of the season.
One thing to be aware of though, Crow Dog, and I'm pretty sure he already will be, Crow Dog knows what he's doing. Look at how many teams in the division actually have sure hands to merit if strip ball's still going to be worth it if you are going down the sacker route with this player, because you've got double Cambry, you've got Skaven, you've got dwarfs, they've all got sure hands built in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So worth having a wee note. But it'll be interesting to see how the development goes on Moose and the rest of the team here from Crow Dog. And
this is certainly going to be an interesting Dark Elf team, to say the least.
Definitely.
Yeah. Next up, Berserk's Hat Tricks Chorfs. A lot of lack of SPP generally, or skill ups, I should say. There's only the break tackle bull, which is an odd first skill choice.
Bulls are, so Chorfs being kind of my main team that I use a lot all over the place. Bulls go one of 2 ways when they first level. It's either block or break tackle. Block if you want the extra security, or break tackle if you want the mobility. I don't hate either way. I prefer double block first, and that's only because I don't mind rolling a 4+ dodge with a reroll.
It's still a 75% success rate with a
Yeah,
reroll.
but now it's a 2+ for him. I don't hate 1-1. The first one to level, in break tackle does leave you, a lot more mobility, which Chorse really need. Although, yeah, as you said, not a lot of SPP. I'm thinking there's possibly been a lot of hobgoblins stealing MVPs based on step on the head and boot them.
Yeah.
Something that is nice to get some basic skills there, but you do really want it all on these Chorse. I would be saying possibly seeing a lot of handoffs in the start of the first couple of games just to try and get some guards, some more mighty blow on these Chorse. The 2- Agis, they're not a big issue. They are something that will just get kind of either replaced or dealt with over time. The only thing it means it's probably these 2 Chorse won't get any handoffs to get SPP development. They'll just have to earn it all themselves, as it were.
Yeah, those 2 Chorfs are going to have to rely on casualties to get the skill ups. But honestly, I don't mind the Agi bust. You can survive with an Agi 1 blocker. It's not a big deal.
It's the one stat bust that doesn't matter, realistically. Armor 8's death, Strength 2's death, Movement 3's almost instant death because you're just standing up at that point.
Yeah.
Agi you can live with. Like you said, you let them develop themselves. I would possibly say on those 2, Mighty Blow first skill, not guard, just so that they can get that development themselves. But then I see 13 players already, which is also very good. Means that you can get a bit of early fouling going on. And I'd just like to see a bit of SPP kind of put onto the Chorse in the Bully Bullington just to get a bit of development going on here. But overall, Berserk here with a really nice Chorse team. And one, as Chorse always are, they're always a threat in every division. So one to watch out for.
Fucking Chorfs. Also, very nicely picking up the 3rd reroll.
Mm-hmm.
So, you might do well, you might do badly, depending on if you get more Agi busts on your Chorf blockers. And
up next then, the Kleptocrats by Razzlestop.
Okay.
I'm never going to say that team name right.
Razzle, I already hate you. And that is purely because you're playing Kislev. Because I cannot stand Kislev teams. But on the other hand, Kislev is either make or break, so maybe some of them will just fall on their neck and die.
What he's saying is, Razzle, every week you have a healthy team, he won't like you. Every week something dies, he'll like you.
Correct. Picking up 2 guard catches is really, really good.
Really nice. Also, one of them being Armor 7, Ferdinand Marcaros. But at this stage, you keep him until he dies. Having guard, okay, it's AV6, but just being able to get that 2 dice on most ball carriers at this stage is worth the Armor 6 liability.
Especially seeing as it's a Leap 2+, it's definitely a cage diver. It's going to be so easy to get 2 dice on the ball carrier, even if they manage to cage properly.
Yeah, exactly. He has a job, and that is give me an assist until you die.
Yeah.
And realistically, the Kislev will be looking at, he'll probably take a punch and get instantly removed, but by that point, we should have already cage dived successfully and stole the ball and ran away.
Obviously.
Some nice development on the top 2 blitzers as well.
Picking up block is always the solid choice on a blitzer.
Kislev kind of live and die by the utility of their blitzers. So you're looking for stuff like block for tackle. You might look for ideally picking up Mighty Blow and Pylon on one of them, but the other ones you're going to want to have is kind of all over the pitch sort of utility pieces.
And one of them is even 2 SPP away from getting a second skill. No,
yeah.
Nugget. Okay, Nugget's back.
Yeah, I'm just coughing to death. Definitely, it's definitely something to look into. I was just thinking, No Bear is a bit of a different start. It's probably a more of a secure start, but it does kind of leave your other positionals a bit open to being the targets of your opponent. But overall, it's a nice looking Kislev team for the start of the Green Horn. And again, 11 players in reasonably good health, so definitely see what's going to come from it this season.
Definitely. And as Nugget said, the lack of the bear really means that the rest of your positionals will get hit a lot more often, and it also means that you can't tie down players onto the bear and make sure that they have to make riskier dodges if they want to get out, or just get them on, and then you have a bear occupying 2 or 3 players.
It's very much the nearest comparison would be Wood Elves without a tree.
Yeah.
Up until a certain point, up until you're maybe facing Clawpalm or that, the tree helps elves' lives. You know what I mean? It helps them stay alive. It's a good blocker. It's a good, you know what I mean, target. It's a good way to protect yourself and that. So, although I'm not saying that not taking the bear start's a bad start or anything like that, I'm just saying it's something you have to risk management with the rest of the team, knowing that realistically here you've got 7 positionals on the pitch and only 4 linemen to protect them now. So positionals are going to be open to being hit. So you've got to play around that. But it looks nice. I presume the 60k is being saved to pick up the 4th reroll, which is also a good idea. Just getting that 4th reroll kind of helps with the leaps and such.
Because Kislev really needs the rerolls.
They do. Especially at the start where a lot of stuff's 1 and 9s as well. So not only leaps but also blocks and that. And you don't leap every turn. It's a kind of a right, we're going to go now moment. And just having those rerolls is nice for that. But be looking forward to Razzle's the season so far.
I will be looking forward to a lot of dead Kislev players. Next up, we have Ramhard's the Blessed One's Chaos. Now, first off, I love the naming scheme.
I'm guessing this is Warhammer 40k, isn't it?
You would be very much correct.
Because I recognise Magnus the Red, who is Sinch.
Correct.
And Typhus, which is a Nurgle dude.
Yeah, he used to be the first captain or something of the Death Guard Legion. But I love the naming scheme already. What I don't love is the complete lack of skills.
Again, we're seeing complete lack of skills, which is true. But we've got 2 warriors. That's 1 SPP. Vanity passing, right.
Vanity passing!
So, Magnus the Red's going to throw it to Fulgrim for a level. Who's going to throw it to Karn the Betrayer for a level. Who's then going to throw it to Angron for a level. Who's going to do a back and forward with anybody. And then Angron's going to score for a level. Game 1 done. 4 leveled up warriors and a leveled up beastman. Done.
You can't go wrong with this.
You can't.
Except everything can go wrong.
Well, that's possibly true.
Yeah.
But no, Ramhard definitely a coach that does know what he's doing. He's in a nice division for it. Ramhard is probably praying he doesn't meet the Skaven team game 1.
Oh yeah, if you meet the Skaven team, you might as well just delete it.
Mainly because of the lack of block that he's got on his team and the lack of everything.
Just lack of skills.
The other teams like the Dwarfs or that they've got tackle to bring down the gutter runners. They've got block. They've got the Khemri's got mighty blow in abundance with block. The Chaos at this stage are just open to it all. So Ramhard probably praying for a nice couple of games just to get that early development. When it does, it's just going to be a nicely kind of motoring on Chaos team that's going to just pick up development as it goes along the season.
Just as Chaos usually do. And obviously, the Mighty Blow Beastman it's the riskier first skill, but it's also, in my opinion, the better first skill because it really allows you to rake up casualty SPP a lot quicker to get the development that you need.
Yeah. The problem is you're going to need block at some stage, otherwise it does just turn into an all apple of pies. And anybody that doesn't know who apple of pies was, this was a beastman that had Mighty Blow, Pylon, Claw that just rolled 1 and 9s all day long.
Yeah.
So block at some point will be picked up. The Karn the Betrayer, I wouldn't be surprised if this beastman when it levels picks up something along the lines of like Sure Hands or that.
Yeah.
Or block just because the amount of agility that's in the division, depending on probably not Sure Hands actually, probably block is a must-have,
or even extra arms.
Protect the ball. Yeah,
even extra. Arms.
I'd like block just because it's offensive and defensive.
Yeah,
so it does mean that if Callbadder does get knocked out or casualty or anything like that, you do have a second strength 4 block blitz that's not the warrior if needed. But Ramhard, again, he knows what he's doing. He's been around the block a few
I have
times
complete faith in you murdering some rats.
Roll them pals.
Yeah. And second to final, Dead Pulse, coached by Demure Nickel, who, after facing him last season with his lizards, I am not 1 second in doubt that he will do really well, because he is a good coach.
Demure, I'm really looking forward to seeing how Demure Nickel does this season. As you said, me and Metal recapping your division last season, we got to watch Demure Nickel's kind of lizard domination, as it were, in that division, coming kind of from nowhere and just putting up big wins. So it looks like he has carried this on to big greenhorn wins with the double wear all the development on here. We've been saying for the last couple of teams, not a lot of development. This team has got it all on the board for game one.
Yeah, I mean, it's at least first skill on every positional, and obviously picking up the dirty player zombie.
Yeah. The dream is going to be Margaret Dispatcher or a Razor May picking up Mighty Blow so that he does have a nice early claw Mighty Blow block Wolf.
Yeah. And I mean, Margaret Dispatcher is just one SPP away from getting another level, so you know what we're going to say? Vanity Pass!
To be fair, probably Margaret Dispatcher will pick that up first block, destroying something. But yeah, even having double block on the Flesh Golems through Greenhorn's really strong as well.
Especially combining it with the stand firm there. So, I mean, if they roll a push both stands, just neither result is good for anyone, because it just keeps that fleshy right where you need it.
Yeah, definitely. It's really strong start for the. Definitely, this is by far one of, along with the Skaven, I'd say one of the strongest teams in this division going into game one.
Yeah. The one thing I do disagree with is the agi increase on the white.
I would have said you take agi on a ghoul all day long. Definitely, you take most stats on a ghoul all day long. Personally, the whites for me need the guard because they need to compensate for the lack of guard the Flesh Golems are going to give you early on, and I'm not sure what the agi is giving you that a ghoul won't. So I don't know. Also, with having 100k in the bank, I presume he is going to buy a ghoul as the ball carrier. But the whites themselves, you want them in the fight. You want them guard, stand firm. You want them available so that when wolves are blitzing, you're always getting 2 dice. You might pick up a bit of a utility white, maybe one that does go guard, tackle, nice and early or such. But I'll be interested to see. Demure Nickel, feel free to drop me or Hargrim a PM if there's a specific reason why you've went with the agi. Maybe you like carrying on the whites, or you're thinking that you might build them as a bit of a deep in the pocket thrower, something like that. It'd be interesting to hear it. Especially,
I'm definitely curious to why you picked this skill.
Yeah, or if you're just thinking, I want some agi 4 on the team for a bit of a recovery. I don't know. Be interesting to see, but definitely Demure Nickel and the Deadpoles are definitely up there as the stronger teams in the division.
Definitely one of the strongest, if not the strongest for this season in this division.
Definitely so.
And finally, ring the shame bells because we have someone who has not accepted their ticket yet, Hippie.
Well, let's shame on Hippie. He did tell us that he wouldn't be free to play till Friday. Now, what I'd say is Hippie's opponent, who we may possibly find out in a few moments, be aware that Hippie's not back at his PC until Friday, but still scheduled with him through Reddit. Yeah. So still get him tagged in that. Yeah. There's no reason not to organise your game, even though he won't be back till Friday. But this is, this is a very, very nice looking Wood Elf.
This is the best Wood Elf team that I have seen in a very long time.
For 4 games in, this is a very strong Wood Elf team.
Yeah. And obviously calling it the Amazing Strippers, I have a question for you, Hippie. What do you do in your spare time? Calling your players all of this.
I know what he does. He changes his wages into $1 bills.
Shame on you for doing this.
That's why he's away to Friday. He's away getting you inspiration for his team.
But in all seriousness, the development this team has picked up is absolutely amazing. Picking up the agi catcher, a guard catcher, and a plus movement tackle dancer is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, Amber Rose alone, just having strip ball on the ward dancer is terrifying if you don't have sure hands. Yeah. But then you're adding in Data Von Tees with the plus move and the tackle. That is just, the Skaven team are going to look at that and say, no, just stay away from me.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of nice development as well. As you said, the agi catch and the guard one. Even the lineman picking up dodge.
There's enough dodge. Basically, every player that needs... There's only one player that needs dodge now, which is the thrower. But 3 out of 10 available players is missing dodge. There is a lot of dodge on this team, and there is almost a complete lack of tackle in this division other than the dwarfs and the dwarves.
Yeah, and even at that point, these are speedy boys. They're going to run round these dwarfs and dwarf teams. So, no, I mean, even Tally Damar, that's you know what I mean? It's line fodder. You don't mind the movement bust. It's not great, but you know, at this point you don't care. You're saving up for your third reroll because you do have leader on the thrower, or you're saving up for the fourth catcher, depending on how aggressive. Knowing Hippie, probably wouldn't be surprised if we do see him take the fourth catcher, depending on how well the team survived at that point. But minus movement lineman, you don't care. Go on the line, you do your job. Hippie looking in a really strong spot for this season as well.
Yeah, absolutely. These Wood Elves are going to be incredibly nasty for the first few weeks, as long as they don't meet the Dwarfs and the Chorfs.
Yeah. Even then, not huge. Okay, the Dwarfs and the Chorfs have got some tackle. They don't have Mighty Blow yet. So Hippie's probably going, I don't mind them basing me. I'm fast enough, I'll run round them. And I'm not taking Mighty Blow hits. So realistically, maybe getting the Dwarfs and the Chorfs out early for this team's not a bad thing either.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So that was about it for looking through your boys' teams. Now we do have one more thing left for you. We will, once we start the round, which we will do in a minute, we will set up a tipping comp for you. So sort of what Metal and Nugget did last season with a couple of divisions. We will send you boys the link, and you can go in and you can tip who will either win, draw, or lose for each game of a round. And Nugget and I still need to find a minor prize for the person who does the best.
We'll get you something. Me and Hargrim, of course, will take part as well. That way, when I win it again, like I did last season, you'll all get nothing. But we'll
other
set
than
that
shame.
Up. Yeah, other than shame. I'm still waiting on my mug, by the way, mate. I'll get it sent. We'll set this up just after we've done the recap. I think we've agreed that we'll give you until midnight tomorrow to get your round one tips in. But after that, the tipping comp will close when the divisions rolled each week. So the tipping comp for round 2 will close Wednesday midnight. You can put your tips in ahead of time for that division, and there's no reason, because you'll know the schedule as well.
Absolutely. So we'll let you know at the next recap what the prize will be, and I wish you all good luck with the tipping comp, obviously, and for the season. Apart from Singe, and apart from Razzlestorm, and Chubstep.
And Metal.
And okay, so half of you, I wish you a good season, and the other half of you...
and Ambi Tanique with those Skaven.
So about half of the division, I hope your players die. The other half, I hope you do well.
Hummerstep, it's all on you. Right, well, we put them up their misery and let them see what they've got week 1.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you for joining us this time, and thank you, Nugget, for being with us. And to quote Gerber, stay classy, folks.